Welcome into the Cowboys Report. I am Tom Downey. Today's show made possible by Manscaped. Get 20% off and free shipping on all of their men's grooming products, from your chin to your, we'll just call it what it is, your balls. Manscaped.com, promo code Cowboys, 20% off and free shipping. My final 7-round Cowboys mock draft is coming up. If you're like me and you are hyped for the NFL draft, show it by liking today's video right now. The Cowboys have 7 picks in the 2023 NFL Draft, 1 in each round. That's pretty straightforward from that standpoint. 26, 58, 90, 129, etc., etc. They have plenty of draft capital this year. Maybe they could move down. Maybe they could move up. That's exactly what Jerry Jones said. Depending on how the board falls, I wouldn't be as shocked if Dallas decided to make a bit of a move, but I think that is still the less likely option. Now, before we get to the pick in round 1, 10 players who I would be very excited about, who I don't think will be there for you. That includes Bijan Robinson. I think all the buzz about Bijan, that he's gone in the top half of the draft, and we all are okay with it, I suppose. Jackson Smith and Jigba. I think Zay Flowers probably gone too. I think both tight ends are gone. Michael Mayer, Dalton Kincaid. Maybe one is there. If that's the case, I would bet that'd be the pick. Joey Porter Jr. is my CeeDee Lamb this year. I would love him. I don't think he's there. Everyone's made a big deal about Darnell Wright. I don't think he's there. Deonte Banks, Miles Murphy, Brian Branch, guys that have as the top guy on my board probably. I think they go before you at pick 26. So 10 players then that I think make more sense. I don't think Jahmyr Gibbs would be the pick, but he'd be in the conversation. You know, Quentin Johnston, both guards, Osiris Torrance, Steve Avila. I bet all your interior linemen are on the board for you. Darnell Washington, maybe a Luke Musgrave, but I wouldn't like that one very much. Mozzie Smith, Will McDonald, if you want to let Dan Quinn get his guy, Drew Sanders, Emmanuel Forbes, players that maybe not all 10 are there, but I bet at least 8 of them are. And I don't have a great feel this year. I don't. In years past, we knew the Cowboys loved Tristan Hill. We knew they were going to take Sam Williams on day 2 some point last year, and they did. We knew that they loved Leighton Vander Esch. There are a lot more unknowns this year. The information has been plugged a little bit better, and I think that's probably some credit to Mike McCarthy in particular, in terms of it just not quite being as obvious in the days, let alone weeks or months leading up to the NFL draft, which I think is significant. Now, we will be live on the Chat Sports YouTube channel for every single pick, all 7 rounds. If you want the best NFL draft coverage, go subscribe, youtube.com/chatsportstv. You'll be seeing plenty of my, well, maybe it's ugly or attractive face for you over there. Get to the pick then. I don't feel great about it. I will say up front, if I get it right, it was a lucky guess. That is Will McDonald. Then I went with him because I know Dan Quinn likes him a lot. I mean, worked him out at the Iowa State Pro Day, brought him in for a pre-draft visit, so all of those things check off the boxes there. And I think he'll actually be there. If Michael Mayer is there, if Kincaid is there, cool. I think that makes sense. I would not be mad if it was a Darnell Washington, one of the offensive linemen, whatever. In the end, I went with McDonald before. I actually finalized this mock draft last night, and then Todd Archer had the same pick, and I'm not sure if I'm more confident or less confident now in that front. It's a guessing game, which makes it fun too. So who do you think ends up being the pick for the Dallas Cowboys in round 1? If the ad break comes here on YouTube, take advantage. Head down there and get your predictions in at the pinned comment of today's video. Today 2, I actually realized, looking back through last year's, I had the round flip, but I had Tolbert and Williams in my final mock. Much less confident this time around. I'll slot in a tight end here, Tucker Kraft. I would love Steve Avila. I would love Darnell Washington. I would love a slider who's in my top 40 to get to you down there at pick 58. I don't think that ends up happening. The Cowboys brought Tucker Kraft in for a pre-draft visit, clearly signifying some interest there. Numbers weren't great. He missed time with injury. He might have beaten Iowa if he had been healthy in that football game, by the way. Cowboys clearly have interest in a tight end. If you can get me Darnell somehow, or Steve Avila, or Cyrus Torrance, or even one of the centers, maybe a John Michael Schmitz or a Joe Tippmann, I can probably play guard for you. I love it. I'm unconvinced those guys will be. That's why in a bubble I love the trade down and trade up idea. Just not sure it's the most likely outcome in the end. Today's show, as I mentioned, is made possible by our good friends over at Manscaped. You can get 20% off and free shipping on all of their men's grooming tools by using promo code Cowboys at manscaped.com. Ball skills are a big deal for cornerbacks in the NFL draft, and it's also kind of a big deal for you off the field. So make sure yours are looking best as possible. Manscaped.com, 20% off and free shipping when you use promo code Cowboys. It's the best acquisition for any at-home GM. We saw the Super Bowl. Poorly managed grass doesn't tend to go very well. And when you use the Lawnmower 4.0, it's not a problem for your grass. I think everyone knows what I'm talking about there, right? We can catch the drift. Get 20% off and free shipping at manscaped.com with promo code Cowboys. I'll put that link in the comment section and the description of today's show. You can go from Mr. Irrelevant to a first-round pick with Manscaped. Big ups to them for sponsoring today's show. Round 3. Kendre Miller. Now, I fully expect the Cowboys, whether it's in round 2, round 3, round 4, to add a running back this year. And depending on how it falls, they would love Zach Charbonnet, I think. I think there's a long list of players they have interest in. It's a great running back class overall. You can throw in a Roschon Johnson here, too. I know that they like Kendre Miller. I think they've been intrigued by him. I think his best ball is in front of him. It's a little bit early on my own board, but not by a lot, so I wouldn't be upset with it at all. I know they like Zach Charbonnet, especially if they don't go tight end in the first 2 rounds. Don't sleep on Jonathan Mingo. That's a player the Cowboys have plenty of interest in, and he's a bigger body than what the Cowboys really have right now at the wide receiver spot. Issue is, it is a small receiver class. If you want the big guy, you probably got to reach on him more than you would in a normal NFL class. Now, if we don't get to 154.5K subs by the end of the NFL draft, I'm not going to leave the channel. Nice try, Jeremy, you're an Eagles fan. But we might go sub only, which if you're not subscribed, then it kind of is like leaving the channel. So make sure you're subscribed. YouTube.com/@CowboysTV. We'll have coverage of every pick. We'll do grades, undrafted free agents. Do not miss out. Round 4, I found a guard outside of round 1. Isn't that a better option than just constantly throwing first-round picks at the offensive line spot? I wouldn't mind Chandler Zavala. I don't think he gets here in round 4. Anthony Bradford might. Antonio Mafi's a player they brought in for a pre-draft visit as well. Bradford's pass blocking wasn't the best last year, if you want to use PFF as the metric there. Yeah, I think maybe the offense, the quarterback's kind of inviting some pressure. Slight problem on that front. But you're also in round 4. You're not necessarily going to get an elite player because that's just not how the NFL draft works. But the Cowboys have had plenty of hits in recent years. So do you trust the Cowboys drafting? Y for yes, N for no. Historically speaking, compared to other NFL teams, they do a great job. Doesn't mean they don't have misses, but they do a pretty damn good job in the end. Round 5, how about Aidan O'Connell, the quarterback from Purdue? The Cowboys have said they want to draft a quarterback. I'm inclined to believe them on day 3. I would be shocked if it came before the 4th round at the absolute earliest. I would like Clayton Tune. I think O'Connell, a guy like Jaron Hall, maybe fits a little bit better for what the Cowboys have shown interest in the past with this offensive scheme, with Mike McCarthy now fully taking over the designs. We'll see what it all looks like, I suppose, but I think O'Connell does fit what they want. Round 6, pick number 212 overall, Jerrod Clark. Now, he offers run-stopping ability. I love the fatties. Every time I do a draft sim, he's the one that's there, so I'm going to keep picking him. There is some medical issues that could cause him to slide to the 6th round. If he's still on the Cowboys board, I think it makes plenty of sense. Round 7, pick number 244, D. Winters. I'm going with it, just an off-ball linebacker, add some depth, fight for a roster spot via special teams. You know, you're not going to get a top 100 player at pick in the back end of the 7th round. So, yeah, we got to be somewhat realistic from that perspective. So, should be fun. Should have a lot of chaos and whatnot here for the Dallas Cowboys. Grade my final mock draft. A, B, C, D, or F. You can sound off for me in the comment section how you feel about what I did for the Cowboys. Go vote right now, A, B, C, D, or F. And before we go, I've got some late-round undrafted free agent options here. And the guys on the left, I think, get drafted for the most part. Guys on the right, I don't think they get taken. Now, maybe Max Duggan gets taken. Cool. I'll mention the kickers here. Chad Ryland, Jake Moody, Maryland, Michigan, respectively. Dallas would love a young kicker. I am unconvinced they will draft one, but if they do, Moody starts to make sense as soon as the 5th, which, whatever. Edges, B.J. Thompson, Viliami Feoko were kind of pre-draft visits, interest shown there by Dallas. They, I think, get drafted. Same with 2 Bradens, Willis and Daniels, and Daniels could make a lot of sense in maybe as soon as the 5th round for Dallas. Xavier Gibson, Alan Ali were both local visits for Dallas. Il Manning and Darrell Johnson are 2 guys that, not many people know, and they were 30 visits for the Dallas Cowboys, which pretty clear sign that they like them, and I think those 2 guys could be your Malik Davis this year.